Hey y'all. Today, let's talk about sports betting for the month of March 2025. Now, you know I love sports. As you can see, I'm wearing this jersey. I think it's from Germany. Yes, I know it has to do with Mercedes-Benz, of course, like my hat. So I'm not really sure what else this shirt has to do with, but it is sportsman-like. So I should be, very qualified to discuss sports with you today. So we're talking about sports betting. I love my sports betting. I love the sports books over in Vegas and elsewhere. So today I'm going to talk to you about all the different games I bet on this month. There weren't that many, well, there were 6 total. Just sort of wrap them all up in a nice big bow because I won't be able to bet on sports again for the month because of the spring break and everything. I can't get any free flights out of Texas, so I'm stuck here. So let's just talk about it now because this is all I've got for the month. It started off this month. I was in Orlando, Florida. I was at the airport and I decided to place a bet. You could bet using a Hard Rock Bet in Orlando, Florida. So I placed a bet on the Cubs. I placed a $50 bet on the Cubs because I love them. They're my favorite team. They had a good minus 160 odds against the Cincinnati Reds. And I was really excited about it. So I wanted to see, I'm bored at the airport. Maybe I can make some money. Okay. So the game started out pretty bad. Cincinnati just kind of was winning, and then by the 4th period, they already had 5 points to 3. And by the end, the Cincinnati Reds did win 7-3, and I just watched as my $50 disappeared. So very sad. But I was still hopeful. On May the 5th, I was in Las Vegas again, and I decided to bet on hockey because I think there weren't any games that were playing that day for baseball, so I had no other choice but to play hockey. Or not, well, but to bet on hockey. I don't play hockey. Well, not anymore. Anyway, so I decided to bet on the Anaheim Ducks because they're my favorite team because, the Ducks. And they were up against the Canucks. I don't know if they were paired that way because they rhyme or even if that is how you pronounce it. Maybe it's Canucks. No one really knows. Now, I did my research, which basically was I looked and I saw that they both had W's, which I assume is wins, of 27. So it looked like they were both on sort of equal footing. I did bet on the Ducks, though, even though they were favored to lose at plus 175 odds. I just really love the name Ducks, and they're my favorite hockey team. So what am I supposed to do? And I was having snacks at the same time. I was eating at the club at LAS. So I got in at night, and I was having my snacks. The baseball games, I think, for the day were over. So it was hockey was what I was left with, hockey and some snacks at the club. I was okay with that. And I sort of watched the game. Now, the Ducks did score a nice goal in the first period, so that was good. But it ended with a very close 3-2, and the Canucks won. So it was very sad for the Duck and the Ducks as well. Now, later that night, I visited the Horseshoe in Las Vegas, and I was able to place a bet on baseball again, but it was for the next day, so for March the 6th. So I placed a bet on the Cubs winning against the Kansas City Royals. So the Cubs didn't work out against Cincinnati, and I was hoping maybe they would win against the Kansas City Royals. I mean, they couldn't lose twice, right? I know this is all spring training, by the way. So these aren't like real baseball games, but I still feel like, they're giving it their all and they want to win, at least try. So, anyway, I put $50 in the machine. This was the actual kiosk at the Horseshoe. And I selected it that the Cubs would win. They had minus 130 odds, which was kind of good. So I just felt like maybe it was going to work out. So the next day, the 6th, I was watching a little bit. I was mostly in the casino. I was playing my Buffalo. I was playing, dragons, pigs, all those sorts of slots that I like. But I was keeping an eye on the game as well. So it started out pretty bad. The Kansas City Royals, they were 3-0, even all the way by the fourth quarter. Then it was Pete Crow Armstrong who gave me hope. He scored all the way from second base to home. It was absolutely thrilling. And then Gage Workman got a 2-run home run. So the Cubs had 3 runs overall. So I was, feeling optimistic. But it just wasn't enough. As Kansas City won the game 9-3, it was just devastating. So didn't work out for me, didn't work out for the Cubs. What are you going to do? Later that day, also the 6th, March the 6th, I decided to bet on more of a sure thing. This time it was the San Francisco Giants versus the White Sox with a minus 210 odds. So that was kind of better. I placed my $50 bet. This was a very exciting game. I watched as Matt Chapman, he got this home run. It was a solo home run, so, the bases weren't loaded, I guess is what that means. Then someone named Jung Hoo Lee also did well. That was a 2-run home run, so some bases were covered, so that's pretty good. Then Matt Chapman did it again with these solo home runs, so I'm not sure why he wasn't, at the end of a lineup so that all the bases could be loaded, but whatever. I don't really know how the lineups work. Then someone named Mike Yastrzemski, he got a 2-run home run. So there were just lots of good home runs in this game. Ended with the Giants winning 7-3. Just a great game. And so with that, the Duck did collect $23.81. Just amazing. So then the next day, March the 7th, I decided to place a bet on the Detroit Tigers versus Baltimore Orioles game, baseball again. And, I like Detroit. I go there a lot to gamble. So and plus they had a minus 140 odds, so I thought this would be good. This would be pretty good. So I placed that bet. I was staying at the Rio, and I decided to go down to their sports book and watch the game. Now the game wasn't broadcast. No one really cares about spring training except for the Duck. But I had an Attaboy burger while in the sports book and watching the game on my phone. So, I was, getting into it. I was having a whole experience. Anyway, the game was absolutely thrilling. Someone scored for the Baltimores, and then Samuel Basallo got 3 runs, clearing the bases, and giving them 4 runs altogether. All of this at the very beginning of the game. So I was kind of nervous because Detroit had 0. But not to fear. Someone named Gleyber Torres got a 2-run home run. So, things were looking up. And then Detroit's Spencer Torkelson got a home run too. And then that was followed by Torkelson getting another home run. And at this time, the game was tied. I was just on the edge of my seat. I was thinking, I could barely finish my Attaboy burger, but then I did, of course. Anyway, the game got better. More guys started getting runs for Detroit, just leaving the Orioles behind. And then someone named Andrew Navigato got a 2-run home run, and that ended the game with Detroit winning 11-7. And because of that, the Duck collected $35.71. It was beautiful. And the Attaboy burger was delicious, by the way. And so then, also on March 7th, the final game that I bet on for this month was another spring training baseball game. This one was the Seattle Mariners versus the Cubs. And this time I bet on the Mariners because the Cubs had just, I know they're my favorites and I love them, but they had disappointed me the last 2 games. I lost money because of them. So, and plus I had just recently visited Seattle and I love it so much. So even though the odds were plus 110 and the Cubs were favored, I decided to bet on Seattle anyway. So I went over to the Rio's sportsbook yet again to watch the game. And again, it wasn't playing on any of the big screens there, but I was being a good sport and I sat there anyway and I followed it on my phone. This time I ordered an absolutely delicious chicken sandwich and this amazing custard thing too. So I was pretty happy there watching, following the game. Now, the game started off pretty well with someone named Rowdy Tellez getting a 2-run home run. And then Randy Arozarena got 2 runs batted in. But Chicago was gaining on Seattle, and then superstar Pete Crow Armstrong scored a grand slam. I almost couldn't finish my chicken sandwich, but then I did. Anyway, it did give me hope when Jorge Polanco did a 2-run home run. And then a few other guys got some runs in as well. And the whole game ended with just 1 point behind, unfortunately, for the Duck. A devastating loss. It was 9-8 with the Cubs winning. I should have bet on the Cubs. I always bet on the Cubs. It's the one time I don't bet on the Cubs and then this happens. Well, but that's sports betting for you. So this month, I won a few games. I lost a few games. Mostly I lost. But I had my chicken sandwich. I had an Attaboy burger. I saw the game on the big screens, or at least I was in front of big screens, but I saw it on my phone. And, I just had a lot of fun. What else is there? I had a lot of fun, and I enjoyed the games, and I was entertained. So I thought it was a good month anyway. I've learned a little bit more about baseball. In April, I'll be able to better research, maybe a little. Probably not, but I'm going to be able to follow the games a little better. And I don't know. I'm just very much looking forward to it. So there will be more in April. I hope you can join me. I'll give you a run through again. This is all real. None of this is I'm not just focusing on my wins like I used to. I'm going to tell you how it worked out for me. This month wasn't the best month, but I have high hopes for April. So we will see you then. Thanks for joining me, and see you next time. Bye.